Well, thank you guys for hopping on, and happy Wednesday. Happy February. I can't believe January 2016 is already gone. It's pretty crazy. But I'm super excited for the month. It's a cup month, so there's a lot of excitement going on in corporate and on the national wake-up calls and just all over in all the groups. There's just a ton of excitement and just something new to kind of focus on, and just it kind of breaks up the month to month of just going through the normal motions, but it just gets you working with a team and but also still working on your individual business. So it's really cool. If you missed out and you're not part of a Team Cup, no worries. We'll have another one in August. But for now, just enjoy the ride and the excitement that's coming off of the team for the month. So I just want to say amazing January. You guys did awesome. We had some rank advancements. We had a ton of new coaches during our team. We had people kind of jump back in the wagon because I know that October, November, December are just really hectic months for life and holidays and travel and kids sports and stuff. So it was really good to see some returning faces in my inbox as well as on the calls, and just really exciting to see people not give up and realize that sometimes life happens and we have to accept that life is happening. And no one can say that more truer than true today than me. And, we just got to roll with it. And it's so good to see you guys on here. And if life is happening right now, we're praying for you and we're thinking about you, and just, let us know if we can do anything for you. I hope you guys have seen the specials for the month. Because it's Team Cup, there's everything 21-day fix, fix extreme, 3-day refresh, kickstart, and sizes. All the challenge packs are on special. If you missed it, you can check it out in your Coach Online office, and you'll see it under the right-hand column. It'll say specials for February monthly promotions, or February Success Club Team Beachbody Cup, and February challenge packs. The 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, 3-day refresh, and size are all on sale. So you can check out the price for those as well as the kickstarts in there. So this is a really great month to maybe do a 3-day refresh if you've never done a 3-day refresh, to do that so that your audience that watches you knows what it is, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. Some people go away for weekends or indulge in too much chocolate, or with spring breaks coming up, people like to detox before and after. So if you've never done one, or maybe it's been a while since you have, I highly encourage you to check out a 3-day refresh. I think it's $52 with your coach price, and that's the one that I'm including with the Shakeology and the whole kit. So it's an awesome program, instant results, and just really good for your business as well. So, going back into that, if you are not, you guys have heard me say this before, if you guys are not currently doing a program, I highly recommend that you take the next 4 days and figure out why you're not. And once you figure out why, put that excuse to the side unless it's legit, and then figure out what program you're going to do. 21-day fix, fix extreme, hammer and chisel, and size are obviously on sale this month, so those are going to be really easy to do and implement. But then hammer and chisel is just new. It's brand new. People are seeing incredible results. So if you're not doing a program right now, I highly encourage you to start one on Monday. I just started, if you saw my post yesterday or this morning or whatever it was, I wasn't able to work out due to some complications with the pregnancy. And my doctor lifted that on Monday, so I can now work out, and I am a happy girl. So I started 21-day fix. I'm doing a lot of things modified and just taking it easy, but I started sharing that journey again on my page. So just posting about the workouts that you're consistent in getting going. So I highly encourage you to get something going for the month of February. Tonight, we have a guest speaker with us, and Abbey and I, and I'll tell a little bit more about her when she hops on, but she's going to talk to us tonight about time management and spreading ourselves too thin and trying to do too much, which takes us away from doing the basics. she's just really awesome and really connected at the New Leadership Conference. So I invited her to talk on the call, and I'll share more about her story in a little bit. But anything before we get going, she's going to hop on around 9:30. So I wanted to give you guys some time if there was any pressing questions, concerns, or situations, or just like general questions that you guys might have before we got into the call with Abbey, because we'll wrap up right when she's done. So did you guys have anything like, how do I log into Coach Online Office? I know we have a ton of new coaches. So is there something that we can help you with as a team, as me as your leader or leaders on this team? Is there anything we can help you guys with? No? Everyone's doing power of threes? Everyone's doing a workout? Everyone's good? Okay. I just had, who was on a team cut? That's what I wanted to know. Look at this. Awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. So if you're not on a team cup, it's okay. We'll still do some like fun prizes or something for you guys at the end of the month for hitting Success Club. I think that'll be kind of fun for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'll be putting something together. My parents have been in here this week, so work time has been kind of pushed to the side. So tomorrow my to-do list is about 1.5 miles long. So we'll be tackling some things, celebrating some recognition for Success Starter, which is Jenny. We'll just give her a shout out. For those of you who are new on the call, Success Starter means that she's hit Success Club 5 or higher for the first 3 months of her business. So November, December, and January, she hit Success Club 5 or higher, and she is now officially a Success Starter, which means she's earned her summit ticket, which there is a wait list for those right now. So that is a very envious, coveted gift, and she worked hard for it, and I'm very proud of her. She also ranked advanced to Emerald in that process as well. So we're going to be doing some shout outs. We have some coaches going Diamond tomorrow, which is super exciting. And then some more coaches who are hitting Success Club for the first time in January. So we'll be celebrating all of that. So with that said, after this call, please make sure that you jump into the team page and you go to the Google Doc to update January's Success Club points, because I will be doing the team shout out tomorrow, and I'm going to go based off that list. So if your name is not on there at all, you will not be on the shout out. And if it says Success Club 3, if I have room, I'll do like the shout out for on the board. But if it says Success Club 3, but you really hit Success Club 5, I'm going off the Google Drive. So make sure after you get on, or after we do this call, that you hop in there and change that so you get the proper recognition for your hard work. Okay? And then I'll have February's up tomorrow as well. Okay? All right. Any questions? Nothing? Give Abby a minute to get on. Who listened to the National Wake Up Call last week? Did you guys love it? Wasn't that so good about like reinventing yourself by Amy Strobelman, and just like I know that I really needed to hear that as I go through like this huge transition of fit and body back after baby to now having baby in body and doing that whole thing. It's kind of weird. But if you haven't listened to that call and you're struggling with what to post on Facebook, I highly recommend you listen to it. She speaks to you in like such a good way that's uplifting, it's motivating, and it helps you realize that even the coaches at the top, she's top 10, she's number 2 in the company, and she talks about how she's had to reinvent herself and, you know, along the way, and her goals have changed, her dreams have changed, and that when you don't hit certain goals, like going back to your why and remembering why you're doing this, remember what you want from this. So I highly encourage you to go back to that, as well as Brittany Leggett's call from Monday, because that was also extremely helpful about bouncing back after you've missed a goal or you have failed. Because I think so often we set the goal for ourselves to hit a rank advancement or hit a Success Club goal. And if we fall short, we start to beat ourselves up about it and say like we can't do it. And I think she gives some really good steps on how to get yourself out of that little post-failure rut. So, you know, maybe that's something for your fitness, or maybe that's something just to help motivate you get back into the basics of the business. So, so make sure you're checking those out. If you're a new coach on the call, the national wake up calls are every Monday, and they're at 11 a.m. EST, and then 8 a.m. Is it PST? Does that sound right? I don't know my time zones, but I know it's 8 a.m. if you're in California, and then 11 a.m. Eastern time. They are about 45 minutes. They always have top coaches from the network sharing something that they've learned in their business recently or something that's helped them get to where they are. And they are recorded. So they'll always be recorded in your Coach Online office, or you can download the Team Beachbody podcast and you can play it and download it from there, which is usually a little bit easier for people to do. So make sure you're getting on those as well. Can't believe no one has questions. Nobody? Anyone want to share a success, a funny story, something great? Told Abby, I was like, 9:30 will be fine. I'll answer a couple questions if people have them. And nobody has questions. I'm going to get off this call, and that team page is going to be like, questions. There's
I have a question.
Who has a question?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're doing your Zoom and everything like that, I don't know if some of the new coaches might not understand this, but I'm curious how you do screen share. Do you know how to do that yet?
Yeah. There's just a little button, a little thing at the bottom that says screen share.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop your screen up.
I'll just have to practice it. And it's right here. It's probably not on mine, though, because I'm not the moderator of the meeting, correct?
Probably not. Yeah, but when you open your own meeting, it'll say like on the bottom, it says like invite, manage, participants, screen share, chat, and then recording.
Oh, I can share my screen. It says it right here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, Miss Abby is on, so I'm going to introduce her and share a little bit about her, and then she is going to give us just some tips about managing our time and making sure we're not spreading ourselves too thin with things that we may not need to be doing in our business. So Abby's been a coach for 2.5 years. She and I both went 5-star elite, and it was so fun to celebrate her and to see her success. When you get to a certain level with corporate, you get a corporate mentor. And Abby told me in the New Leadership Conference that her corporate mentor had looked at her and said, elite is going to be pushing it, girl. Like, I don't know if it's going to be possible for you. And Abby just stuck to consistency. She figured out what she needed to get to be elite and to help her team. Because, you know, I've said this to you guys before, like, it doesn't matter what I do in my personal business to help me hit elite. It's dependent on how I lead and how I train and help you guys build your business. And Abby took that in her own hands, and she said, this is what I have to do to help my team. And she did it, and she finished the year elite, which is so awesome. She is also a Success Club 10 All-Star and a Success Club 5 All-Star legend. She's only been a coach for 2.5 years, so that means she's never really missed Success Club 5, which is pretty awesome. And for the last 12 months, she's hit Success Club 10. So please, just give your full attention and concentration. I'm super excited. I do want to add, she's a mom. She has a 3-year-old little girl who chatterbox away, and she owns her own gym, which is why she is perfect to talk to us about what do you have to do to get done, because she teaches, she's a mom, she's a coach, and she runs her own business, and she's a wife, and she's killing hammer and chisel. So here's Abby. She's going to give us some great tips. And Abby, it is all you, girl.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. And I heard some chatter about screen sharing. I'm going to screen share tonight so you all can see my screen. But I'm actually just going to go right into that and get that up so you guys can see it. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, cool. Okay, so to get started, Britt started to share a little bit about me, and I've been a coach for 2.5 years, but 2.5 years ago, the place I was at in my life, people around me were like, what the heck are you thinking getting involved in another thing? Like, Abby, you don't have time for that. And I didn't think I had time for it either. And I just want to share a little bit about myself, what I do and what I was doing at that point in my life. So when I joined as a coach 2.5 years ago, I was pursuing my master's in nutrition at that time, and I own a gym, like Britt had said, and I actually had a lot of my clients from my gym asking me questions about what Shakeology was, what I shouldn't say the names of all the other things they asked me, but a whole bunch of other products on the market as well as things you could buy from GNC and diet pills and this and that. And I told them, like, whoa, pump the brakes, guys. Like, you're not taking any of this nonsense supplements. I will look into these and I'll give you some more information on it. So I went home and I started doing my research on different products out there, different shakes that were on the market. And it was so easy with my nutrition knowledge to just kind of throw everything in the trash can. I was like, this is disgusting. I can't believe you'd even want to put this in your body. These are just awful products. They're schemes that are getting your money. And I came across Shakeology then, and it got a second look from me. From everything I was reading, all the research I was doing, this was actually a quality product. And I was like, well, all of my things checked out. It didn't immediately get thrown into the trash can with like my top 3 no-nos for different shakes on the market in them. And I really dove into Shakeology a little bit. And I told my clients, I was like, I think this could be a good product, but I'm going to buy it first and I'll let you know what I think about it. So I actually am one of those people that went on beachbody.com and I signed up to be a coach that day when I bought Shakeology without knowing anything about coaching. And I had never used a Beachbody product before, and I bought it. I'm frugal, and I saw it was a deal to be a coach, and I was like, well, if I'm going to cancel it, I'm going to sign up as a coach. So I signed up as a coach, and I bought Shakeology. Fast forward, long story short, obviously it passed all my tests. It's an awesome product, and I stand behind it 150%. From all the knowledge I have in nutrition. But that's how I got started. And I remember, if you guys don't know this, if you're a diamond coach, you get put into a pool where if somebody signs up to be a coach like me, you get a chance to get a coach assigned to you. So my coach got me assigned to them because they were a diamond coach at the time. That's Manny Watkins, if you guys know who she is. And I remember the day she called me and she was like, Abby, did you sign up to be a coach? And, I think I'm your coach. And we started talking, and she got really excited when she heard that I owned a gym. She was thinking like, oh, this girl is she's going to be awesome. And, she's going to go to the top. And I was saying like, hey girl, I'm so sorry, but I've got too many irons in the fire around here. I'm not doing anything with Beachbody, like ever. And I was like, I would never be involved in network marketing. This is just not for me, and I don't have time for it. So at that point in my life, I told her that day on the phone, I was like, you don't even know what busy is. I was like, busy is, I have a 7-month-old at this time. I was watching my nephew one day a week. As you see in the picture there, that's my nephew and my daughter up in the left-hand corner. My daughter was 7 months old, and I was pursuing my master's in nutrition. Like I told you guys, I volunteer at my church. I sing on the worship team at my church. I was running charity events. Me and my sister aren't Playboy bunnies down there. That was us at a charity event. And I own a gym. That's my gym in the bottom. I'm also a dental hygienist. That's what my bachelor's degree is in, and I was working in dental hygiene at that time. And I was on a missions trip. I did traveling missions to the Dominican Republic many times. And I just had so much going on between, I was teaching probably about 14 fitness classes a week at that time, as well as running and managing my gym and getting my master's and working as a dental hygienist, and all those other things. And life was way too crazy for me to consider coaching. But as I saw value in the products, my priorities started to change. So that brings me to the next thing. Where do you spend your time? So I want you guys, if you don't have a sheet of paper out right now, I will give you 30 seconds to grab one, because this is going to be a learning experience, okay? So there are 6 circles on my paper. What I've found in life and in time management is we can only really handle that many things, okay? So I want you to think about all the different things you do in life, and I want you to write down categories of things that you do. So I'm going to give you some hints on the next slide here. These are categories of my life: family, my faith, work, Beachbody, hobbies, and ADLs. If you don't know what that means, that's activities of daily living. That's like your cleaning, that's your cooking, that's everything that you just have to do to survive in life, okay? So those are my categories. Maybe yours are the same, maybe yours are different. But I want you to write something down in those 6 circles. And then we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. So I want you to go through and, in your family circle, I want to write all the things that we do there. So what do? Maybe you babysit somebody for a family member. Maybe you, have family dinners on Sunday nights at your parents' house. Maybe you guys have a commitment that you eat dinner together every night of the week and you cook. Maybe you have family nights on Wednesday nights. Maybe you have date nights that you do. Those things I want you to start to write down in that circle of your family time. Then moving on to your faith, if you're a person of faith like myself, what are the things that you do there? I volunteer for my church. I sing on my worship team. Whatever area of life you're focusing on, add those things in your circle. Do you have a job outside of Beachbody? Your work, add the things that you do there. Then we have Beachbody, hobbies that you do. Put them in there. If you do things, I don't know what hobbies are personally, but if you have hobbies, put them down. And then activities of daily living, you don't have to write them if you don't want to, but that's the deal. So next thing I want you to do is look at all the things you wrote down in all of those areas. And I want you to rank how you prioritize your life. What's most important to you? What's least important to you out of those 5 things? Don't worry about activities of daily living. They have to happen. But 1 through 5, I want you to rank your priorities. Give me some head nods. Are we ranking them? We good? Yeah? Okay. So, you have these ranked. Now I want to do a little reality check with you. And how are you really spending your time? So for me, this is how I am spending my time now. But before I was not, okay? So my faith is still most important to me, then my family, and then comes my Beachbody business. Next comes my work and my hobbies. But when I first started this business, and even probably into the time that I became a Star Diamond coach, I was a diamond coach and I was still very imbalanced, and it's why my business wasn't moving forward. So when you look at this slide, where are your priorities really? So you ranked what you want them to be, or maybe what you think they are, but based on all the different things you wrote down, where is your time really being spent? For me, my family and my faith, my time was being spent there, but where a lot of my time was being spent was in work that was draining me and obligations I was creating. So, that's me. I'm a people pleaser, and I was saying yes to a lot of really great opportunities that weren't really getting me closer to the goals that I wanted in my life. So Beachbody and other distractions in my life were kind of off to the side, and my time was going into my gym and things that I was signing up for and taking on other classes in different locations. And I was doing so much, but none of it was really moving me forward in life the way I wanted it to. So look at your life right now, and I want you to just ask yourself, are your actions matching your intentions? What you really want to see happen in your life, is your time being put there or not? And this is a quote I absolutely love. So just because you're good at something doesn't mean it's good for you. I've learned this lesson a hard way in being way too burnt out and just feeling like I wasn't a success in any area of my life because I was having so many irons in the fire because, I'm not going to pump myself up, but I'm good at a lot of things. I like to sing, and I do that for my church, and I love teaching fitness classes. It's a passion of mine. And, I went to school to be a dental hygienist, and I owe money for that. So I should definitely probably work in dental hygiene, and somebody needed a day off. So I should totally say yes and help them out because I know I'd want somebody else to help me out. And, oh, Abby, do you want to teach a cooking class? Oh, I love to cook. I'd love to teach a cooking class. I should totally create a blog. I should write my recipes on a blog. Abby, you should create a recipe book. I think I'll do that. This was me. Any opportunity that came my way, I was like, that's such a good opportunity, and I'm good at that. I should totally take advantage of it. And just because it's good doesn't mean it's good for you. And the next quote I have on here is another one that I love. Sorry if it's blurry for you guys. I hope it's not. But it says, you have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage pleasantly, smilingly, non-apologetically to say no to other things. And the way you do that is by having a deeper, bigger yes burning inside. And for me, that deeper, burning, bigger yes was all the things I was doing with Beachbody. It was the people I was helping that I could see in front of me changing. It was the coaches I was enabling to do more with their life. And it was the bigger dream that I saw there that allowed me to make the courageous decision to take time off and say no to dental hygiene. I left my work as a dental hygienist, even though I wasn't at that time making the amount of money that would allow me to do that. But I knew that if I wanted to take my business to the next level, I had to give up some things. And that was something I personally ranked lowest on my list. So I gave up dental hygiene. Then as time went on in my business, guys, I mean, my business started to show a little growth from that. But I need you to know at this point in time, I was still a diamond coach. I'd been riding out diamond for over a year and not seeing growth in my business, like significant growth that I wanted to see, because I still had too many irons in the fire. I was still teaching about 10 fitness classes a week, and I had just finished my master's in nutrition, so I decided I need to do more with that now that I had finished my master's. And I was just not seeing what I wanted to see happen. I was seeing in my personal fitness, my fitness was going down because I was draining my body with the amount of workouts I was doing at my gym, and I wasn't able to do workouts at home with Beachbody. And, you know, I don't tell people this often, but guys, I had never done a Beachbody fitness program start to end because I used the excuse that I was working out 14 times a week at the gym and I didn't need it. But as a coach, we have to be a product of our products if we want to see significant growth in our business. I'll tell you, I was very successful as a coach, not doing Beachbody programs start to end. I was doing nutrition programs start to end. I was doing the 21-day fixed nutrition plan. I did the ultimate reset. I did the 3-day refresh. But there's something about the discipline of learning how to get up every day and do a Beachbody fitness program that's directly related to your business and will show you significant growth. So I had to make a decision in my life, even the most recent time balancing decision I had to make was I had to decide to give up something that I absolutely love, is my first baby and child. That's my gym that I opened and I'm so passionate about. I still have my gym, but I had to decide if I wanted Beachbody to be a success more than I wanted to teach fitness classes at my gym. And so right now I cut my schedule back to teaching 5 times a week. And you might still think that's a lot, but going from 14 to 10 to 5, that's the least amount of classes I've ever taught. And, you know, I did that so that my husband and I could do hammer and chisel together, you know, and I had to make that sacrifice for my business to see the next level of growth that I wanted to see for myself. And I have to tell you guys that giving things up has proven exponential growth in my business. As Brittany told you, you know, it was actually September of last year when my corporate mentor said to me on a Zoom call like this, I was looking at him and he said, Abby, like, I don't want you to be upset when it doesn't happen. Like, you're not going to hit elite. Your numbers don't look good. And I decided right then and there that no, I want this more than I want the other things in my life. And I have to put some things aside to be able to focus my time. So I want to challenge you guys to take action on some things. Number one is decide your priorities. You know, looking at all those things that you have in front of you, what is really a priority for you? Do your actions match your intentions? Number 3, which I think is the most important on this list, is make a stop list. Okay. I know all the time we're making to-do lists, you know, all the things that we want to maybe start doing in our business. We want to learn how to use Instagram better. We want to do this. We want to do that. But I want you to make a stop list. What are the things you're going to stop doing? Maybe it's stop watching NCIS reruns. I don't know. Maybe it's stop teaching fitness classes like me. Maybe some of you teach fitness classes like I do. Maybe it's stop, you know, saying yes to really good opportunities that maybe aren't good for you. But I want you and I challenge you to make a stop list, because there's so many things that we're all doing in our life that are actually, you know, a disservice to ourselves. And, you know, 4 is commit to saying no to some good things so you can be great in your areas of highest priority. And, you know, this is a huge takeaway for me, guys, because I'm good at a lot of things, but I wasn't great at anything. I take this the whole way back to my childhood. My parents are amazing. They've supported me so much throughout my life, but they let me do anything I wanted to do. I'm like, what? I was like, I want to play basketball. They let me play basketball. I want to dance. They let me dance. I want to do gymnastics. They let me do gymnastics. And I was good at a lot of things, but I always resented the fact that I wasn't great at one thing in high school, in sports, in anything that I did. And in my adult life, I've learned that we can't be good at everything if we want to be really great at something. So I challenge you guys to decide what you want to be great at and set aside some of the things that you're good at so you can be really great at one thing. So now taking it even further, this is my last slide for you guys. My absolute top tips for you in this is, number one, tell your time where it's going to go or it will decide for you. I'm a huge proponent of this. I don't know if any of you know Dave Ramsey, but he talks about this with money, right? So if you have $100 and you just, put it in your pocket and it's cash, it's just over the day is going to slip away. And you're going to be like, where'd that $100 go that I got? But if you tell every dollar where it's going to go, it has a purpose and a place and you can account for it. And your time's the same way. If you don't tell your time where it's going to go, it's going to decide for you. Number two, set a schedule that you can keep up with. Number one, most important thing that you can keep up with. Your attention must go to all your plates or they won't be there anymore. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the analogy of spinning plates. Have you seen that before? So there's basically sticks that dinner plates are spinning on, right? And you can only spin so many plates at one time, because if you don't go around to each of them and give it a little bit of attention along the way, it's going to fall off and crash and burn, okay? And all the areas of our life are the same way. If we can't give them each a little bit of attention and touch each area of our life, it won't be there anymore for us to have. Number three, schedule family time, dinners, business time, hobby time, whatever it is, put it on paper. For me, I literally, it might sound crazy. I write out all my workouts. I write out when we're having dinner. I write out all of these things, because if you're somebody that has a lot of things going on like myself, if you don't tell your time where it's going to go, it's going to be gone and you won't get those things done. This was the hardest realization for me, but we have to stop using the excuse of being busy as a reason why your business is not where you want it to be. Okay? And that's a hard one to read, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but busy is not why your business is where you don't want it to be. It's because you're putting your focus in the wrong areas, okay? And we're all busy, but this is number 5, how you make busy work for this business. And busy works when you focus on one thing like a headlamp. And I love this analogy, okay? So say you have all these plates spinning, okay, at one time, and you're trying to keep up with it all. It's like the lights are just on in a room. The whole room's lit up, and each part of the room's getting a little bit of light at one time, but nothing is really being focused on, okay? And if you think about a headlamp, right, like if you were in a cave and you had a light on your forehead, anything that you were looking at is going to have 100% of the light on it. And that's how I handle my time as a busy person with Beachbody. I schedule out my time, and when it's time for me to be focused on, making a training, I'm focused on making a training. Nothing else is happening. When it's time for me to be adding new friends on Facebook, that's what I'm doing. Nothing else is happening. When it's time for me to be teaching a class at my gym, that's what's happening. Nothing else is happening. But I'm the one in charge of how much time I'm spending in each area, and I have to put my full focus on that thing to get it done. So those are really my tips for you guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see you all. You guys look like incredibly angry or something. I don't know. But, I hope that you guys can really take what I said and think about it for a while. I want you to marinate on this and truly think about what's going on in your life, where you're at now, and most importantly, where you want to be. And if you're spreading yourself too thin, you're never going to get there. And a reminder that you're going to have to say some no's to some really good things, maybe even some great things in your life, if you really want to be super great at one thing. And for me, just a reminder to you, I had to give up things I was passionate about. Dental hygiene was something I was passionate about. I always say my loves for things in life go from donuts to fitness to teeth. Those are my 3 loves. And, I had to give up dental hygiene to be able to pursue fitness at a higher level with higher passion. And I had to do the same thing about my gym. And that was probably the hardest decision I made. And just to give you a little backstory on that, I can't even believe I'm saying it now, but about last April, I almost quit coaching. Okay. I was, I guess at that point I was still a diamond coach last April, guys. And I finished the year 5-star. So if you're a diamond coach right now, I want you to know it's possible. But I was a diamond coach in April. And I remember I know you all know who Meg Wazinski is, because that's Brit's upline. But anyways, I was at her house actually, because I went for a Super Saturday, and I was sitting on her couch, and I remember I was up at night and I was crying because I was going to quit this business. I had too many irons in the fire still. I felt like I can't do this anymore. And I was saying at that point in time, I would give this up before I'd give up my gym. And it was about 3 months later at Summit when I looked myself in the mirror and I said, oh my gosh, Abbey, like I'd give up my gym before I'd give up Beachbody now. And that was so hard for me because that's something I never, ever, ever in my life thought would happen. But every day, every month, our priorities are constantly changing. Our goals are changing. Our passions are changing. And if we don't adapt our time to meet our passions, we are just never going to get where we want to get. So I just encourage you guys to just not take this lightly, because if you're wondering right now, maybe you're somebody like me, maybe you've been sitting at the same place in your business for a while and you're wondering why you're not pushing forward. And that could be because you're spreading yourself too thin like I was. So take some time and really think about it, guys, and think about what you can say no to so that you can be really great at something else. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. But thanks for having me on.
That was awesome. Thanks so much. So much, Abbey. And I hope you guys all have some takeaways from this, and those, this is something that really spoke to me at the New Leadership Conference, but Bonnie Engel said, she doesn't believe in aha moments. You can have those aha moments, but those aha moments are only short-lived. You need to have action moments. So if something stuck out to you tonight, if maybe you're spreading yourself too thin by saying yes to all these, opportunities that come along, or new jobs or new ventures or whatever, or maybe you're using the I'm too busy excuse to build your business because the ADLs of life are taking over, take those aha moments and write down tonight, what can you do to start putting that aha moment into action? Because it's that action that's going to take you from being a diamond coach in April 2015 to sitting on this call as a 5-star diamond like Abbey. And myself, I was diamond in April of last year, so, but we got to this point that it was like, this is greater to me than a TV show. This is a bigger yes, bigger, oh my gosh, I want to cry. I want to do this fire in my belly than a girl's night out. And, those are still planned, but they're planned and they're done on nights that are not on my team calls, and they don't interfere with my husband. And, I make sure that we've had a night or two at home. So, Abby's done a really good job of explaining, you can have all this, but it might take a little effort and a little practice to get yourself into a routine and to get yourself used to planning this stuff out. Right? You guys have any questions? They're very, very quiet, Abbey. I always open it up for questions. No one has questions. No questions? None? Was this helpful? Can I get a head nod? Yeah?
Can we get a head nod? Can we get a what?
I also want to point out, I'm really glad that Abbey was able to come on and speak, because I come from a background where I didn't have another job to leave. I didn't have another huge passion that I had to say no to take this opportunity around. But I did have to make that choice of, how busy do I want to be and how many excuses do I want to come up with. But I think she can shed some light on, she was a diamond coach and she left a dental job that was bringing in income for her family to spend more time with Beachbody. So she left a consistent, guaranteed paycheck from that hourly job to dive in maybe another 2-3 hours per week with Beachbody, and who knows what could come of that. But I'm sure she can tell you today that a whole lot more can come out of that extra 2 to 3 hours working on your business than sticking at the dental hygienist job that was guaranteed X amount of dollars per hour. So you might take a little hit, you might take a little, for a month or two, but I promise you that the kickback that's coming from that in 30 days, in 60 days, from a year from now, I'm sure she's so happy that she looked at that and said, okay, I'm ready to take that dental hygienist job. Because when push came to shove, it gave her that confidence to look at her gym and say, okay, it worked before, I can do it again, and it's going to help me even more. And so she could cut down, fitness hours, and now she's cutting down just general hours at the gym. And she's on her way to be an amazing top coach in this company, and it's because she's able to, for passion versus like what's actually going to get me to my ultimate passion, which is to be with my family and provide financial freedom.
That's great. I saw a question there. Christy, I spend 2 to 3 hours a day on my business right now. At that point in time when I was still working, I spent about an hour and a half a day on my business. But now I spend about 2 to 3 hours on my business. And what's great is, I technically work less than I did before when it comes to overall work hours, and I get to choose what I want to do with my time. But yes, and to answer your second question, my income has surpassed what I would have made full-time as a dental hygienist, which is pretty awesome as well, because the truth is I was working part-time as a dental hygienist. So I actually, made out on the deal because I've been able to surpass what I ever could have made as a dental hygienist now.
And just to kind of give my 2 cents on that, when I first started as a brand new coach, it was an hour and 15, 5, 6 days a week, depending on the week. And now it's 2 to 3. Some days are a little bit more, but it just depends on what you're focusing on for that month. So maybe you're spending a little bit more time focusing on trainings, or tomorrow is a little bit heavier of a day because I'm doing recognition posts, or checking in for Success Club towards the end of the month. So it's not every day that I'm spending 3 hours, but there are some days where I'm still only doing an hour and a half. It just kind of depends on that time of the month and what my team needs and team cup and stuff like that. So, but I would safe to say at least 2 hours a day leading a team and running my own business now.
I think it's good to know too that, guys, as you build a business, you're going to have options as to how much time you want to spend. Mm-hmm. And that's what's really cool. In the beginning, you're putting in way more time than what you get out of it financially. And that's just part of the business. And, I hope to shed a little bit of light on this for you guys too, is that, you get to join as a Beachbody coach for stinking $40, right? You get to open a business for $40. Let me just say, opening a gym didn't cost $40. And my gym costs me money. It doesn't make me money. So, it's an amazing opportunity that we have to get into something that, yes, it builds slow. And yes, you put in more time than it's worth. If I configured how much money I was making as a diamond coach, I was probably making like 5 cents an hour with the time I was putting in, but you can totally decide how much time and energy you want to put into this business. Mm-hmm. And you have to be consistent, even if it's a small amount of time in the beginning. But like Britt said, as your business grows, there's different needs. If I'm going to spend time like making slides for a training, like tonight, I'm going to spend a little bit more time in my business. But guess what? That was a decision I made. Nobody told me I had to do that. I wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's what's cool about this business is you can decide, okay, this weekend, my family has some cool stuff going on. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to. I'm going to do the bare minimum today, what I have to do to move my business forward. But other days, I can put in more time if I want.
And, to that point, like I said, my parents have been here since Wednesday. So I've been keeping up with my messages, following up with people, getting people plugged into the new coach training, just doing the absolute stuff that I know that I need to get done because other people were relying on me, or it's just the stuff that continues to move my business forward. For the rest of the stuff's just been kind of written down on a to-do list that tomorrow when the kids are in school from 9 to 3, they asked to stay after school. So we're staying after school. But then tomorrow will probably be a 5-hour day with everything. But that's because on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I haven't really done much except for the bare minimum. So it really is a business that, if you don't do anything tomorrow, you can do 2 hours the next day, or, you break it up and you can, you make it work for your schedule. And we'll do a lot. Christy's a brand new coach, so these are great questions for her to ask. But, those are all things that we're going to teach you and explain in the new coach training and as we talk on one-on-one and stuff. So it's a really, really cool thing. And I love what Abby said. Like, you guys, you have an opportunity that you've joined this business either for the cost of your challenge pack, which you were probably going to do anyway, whether you were coaching or not, or you started your business for $39.95. To upkeep that, it's $15 a month. So Beachbody, so that you don't have to house product. You don't have to have customer service. You don't have to build a coach online office to track all your orders and track your customers. Like, Beachbody does all that for you. So the logistics to run the business is done. And Abby can come from a really cool background and say it did not cost her $40 to do a gym. And it was probably sinking their bank account in the very beginning to run the gym and not have the clientele and not have the teachers and the fitness instructors. And Abby's doing it all to save money. And you don't have to do that with this business. And so I think there's a mindset shift here that if you want this to be a business, if you want this to be at a point where Abby and I are with an income level, you have to treat this like a business. And you have to say, I'm going to have to put in work. I'm going to have to hustle. I'm going to have to work for maybe 2 hours, and I only sell a base kit, which only gets me like $20. But I know that if I continuously do this for 6 months, I'm going to have a $500 month. And I probably wouldn't have had that fast of growth in a business, because your income is a direct reflection of your growth as a person and as a business owner. So I think that's like really important as we talk about this time management, that you set your hours because you're your own boss.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll share with you guys too is that, I was talking in the end about putting your laser focus and your light on one thing at a time and working on it. I just feel like I should share with you guys that, I shared with you that I had a passion for dental hygiene and I had to let that go. I shared with you that I had a passion for teaching fitness classes and I had to cut back on that to allow myself to be one of our main vital behaviors, which is a product of the product, and be able to complete a Beachbody program with my husband. I had to make those adjustments, and, it's hard for me to even say it out loud because, most of you don't know me, but I have such a passion for teaching fitness classes, and I have a passion for mentoring instructors to become rock star instructors. But I know that that's not an option for me to do, even at the level I'm doing it now, and continue to see business growth. So I've already set myself up with the mindset that by the end of this summer, I'm going to be down to one class a week teaching, something I'm so passionate about doing, but I have to let go of those passions to be able to do more with Beachbody. And, just from the perspective of fitness, in case you guys don't know, you'll never make the money being a fitness instructor that you will do in Beachbody. It's just not true. It won't happen. And, if you have goals for that, maybe your passion isn't the same as mine with teaching fitness classes, but you have to think about what you want in the end. And a huge realization that I had for myself is, I love the energy of a classroom and teaching people, but the hands I can touch from Beachbody coaching is so much greater than what I can touch in one classroom at a time, because there's no limits to my classroom when it becomes Beachbody, because Beachbody lets me reach so many people at one time from all over the country, and it's an amazing opportunity. So I encourage you guys, please don't just sit on this. Like Britt said, take action on all the things that you have maybe had aha moments about in your life.
Awesome. Love it. Well, I hope you guys took away a lot. I hope you guys can start implementing. And if you have questions for me, you can go ahead, or Abby, you can send them all to me and I can kind of lead them through to Abby. I don't want to overflood her inbox, but if you have questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. If you're in a certain situation that you need some time management specific help, let's, get with your upline, or you can, message me and we can kind of get you on a schedule that's going to make this fit into your lifestyle, because it just might take some sacrifice on your end a little bit. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the call. I'll have the recording up tomorrow. And sleep well, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks again, Abby. We appreciate it.
Bye, guys.